All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's meeting. By this point, we have covered like a bunch of different things with Unity, especially concerning like physics and rigid bodies and other game mechanics. Um, Today, we're going to cover something a little bit different. We're going to go over Unity's UI or user interface. So basically, what that is like how the player gets to interact with like the game screen. So what we'll be covering today is like it's like buttons. You add buttons to the game scene, like sliders, text, images, stuff like that. Uh, so yeah, let's get started. So here we have our game scene, and the first thing we want to do is to right click, and you see this thing over here. It says UI, and we want to click on canvas. So how this works in Unity is that we create a canvas, and basically on that canvas we can add whatever like elements we want to it. So we can add like a button, a text, image, and so on. And I'll show you how to do that in a bit. If you see that when you add canvas, you also add something. Let me click on. You can see you added an event system. You don't need to really worry about it. Just make sure that it's there because it will make sure that every single event that happens when you play your game, it will make sure that it is taken care of. So back to the canvas. Let's see. The first thing we're going to add. Oh wait, okay, let's make it 2D. All right. As you can see here, I have made this 2D. I'm in the 3D project, but this is a 2D mode. As you can see, this box over here, this is the canvas. This is basically the screen that will overlap the game. Let's see. For example, let's say I wanted to add. Oops. Let's say I want to add text to this. So we go here, UI, and we're going to click text. And as you can see, oh, it's not very clear, but over here you see that a text box, and it has new text on it. It shows up in the middle of the screen. So if we go to the game mode, you can see that it's over here. New text shows up. Now what we can do with it is, okay, so click on text. Okay. Obviously here, because this is a text box and it has text in it, you can change the words in it. So we're going to change like hello. So over here, text. And then you can change the font style, font size, line spacing, and other stuff like that. You can change the center. Like I want to center in the middle of the screen. Let's go game mode, it's easier. Center. It's the middle of the screen. And you can change the color and so on. Oh, one thing about the font, it says here right now this font is Arial. Unity doesn't really give you any other fonts other than this Arial font. So if you want to get your own font, either get it from the Unity Asset Store, or there's this website I like to go to. I think it's called Dafonts, DAFONTS.com. And what you can do there is download fonts, and then you can import them into Unity. So we're just going to go with the default font for now. Let's see. Okay, if I want to change the size, let's make this 30. Okay. As you can see, if I made this font size 40, but the words seem to have disappeared. Well, that's because the text box is currently too small for the font. So we're going to change it over here. This rect transform indicates like the position, as you can see, pos x, pos y, pos z, of the text box. And then there's this width and height over here. So we're going to change this right now. This works. 500. 100. There we go. See, now now the width and height is 500 by 100, and as you can see, you can now see the hello on it because it grew bigger, and now it's in this. Yep, it's back here. Okay, if you wanted to say put this in a certain spot on the screen, you can move it around. Say we want to go to the upper left. Actually, way to shrink this. You can also change the size by clicking on this text box, and then you see these blue dots on the side. You can scale it however you want. Let's see how it looks. Okay. So currently, if we play our game, 1 second. Oh, you can see hello is not really at the top left of our screen. And especially if you say like change the size of the screen. Oh, it's not really obvious here. But the thing is, like, it's not really in the top left of the screen as it's... Oops, let's move back. It's not at the top of the screen as you see over here. So what we can do is change the anchors of the text box. So over here we click anchors. Oh no, click here. Click this box on top. And over here, we can see different positions where we can place it on the screen. So right now, the anchor is in the center of the screen. So right now, this hello is going to be, its position is going to be based on the center of the screen. But we want it to be the top left. So we're going to click this one, top left. Right now, the anchor's in the top left, and it's hopefully it's up there. Let's play. Yep, see? Now that the anchor's in the top left, the word hello is going to be stuck in the top left, and it's going to stay there no matter what size you change the screen to. So basically, you see? It's always in the top left no matter what size you choose. So the anchor basically like makes sure that your UI basically stays scaled whenever the player wants to change like the size of the screen. Let's see, what else? You can change the scale obviously here. Let's see what happens when we do pivot. I think we're good with text. Okay, moving on. The next thing that you can add is images. So basically, this image is not the same. This is a 3D project, so image is not really the same as a sprite in this case. But basically, you can just put a picture on the center of a 2D image on your game screen, and no matter what happens, that image will always stay there and not like move around. Oh yeah. So the question was like, your question is like, you want the text to follow the player, or? Yeah, for example, or even an image. I'm not 100% sure about image, but you can do something about the text. So we can right click. You see 3D object. There's this. Yes, it's here. It's just something called 3D text. So what this 3D text is different is that this will basically place it in the game screen, as in like in 3 dimensions. It won't be 2D like this one. Kind of hard to see. We can go over this another day, but just know like, yeah, this is not going to show up on the canvas, and you can move around, and it won't. It won't. How should I say it? Okay, like the canvas is going to. The way the canvas works is that no matter what happens in the game screen, if the canvas is activated, like hello will always stay in its position no matter what. But then if you use the 3D text, once the player moves, the text will move in relation to the player. So, yep. Okay, so back to where we were. Okay. Okay, so image. Over here, we have the same thing. We have a rect transform. We can change the position by numbers, like say that we move 100 to the right. And then, let's see. Over here, we have an image component. So over here, we have a source image, and it asks for a sprite. So what you can do here is that you can import like a JPG or a PNG into Unity, and then all you do is drag and drop it into this source image. And basically what will happen is that it will show up. And then you can obviously change the color, and then the material. We don't need to talk about the raycast target right now. Okay, but the one I want to go into is the button. As you can see here, there's a bunch of UI elements here. We have toggle, slider, scroll bar, drop down, input field. Yeah, they're all different parts of like the GUI or the graphical user interface. But for right now, we're going to just talk about the button, and we're going to use this button to change scenes. So this is something new that we haven't talked about. Like before, we always covered we only did one game scene, which is this sample scene. But say you wanted to like change the scene where the player like gets moved to another location. So you can do that by adding a new scene. So right now we're just going to here it is. So you right click and you click create, and over here it says scene. And it's called new scene. We're just going to call it I'm just going to call it new for sure. Okay, and if you want to click on it first, you have to make sure you save this current scene, and then you can now click on it, and now you get a new scene. Alright, now back to the button. Okay, as you can see here, the button has an image component, so you can drag an image and this background would change. Let's see, there's a button script, we'll go over that in a sec, but as you can see here, the button does not have a text component. The text component is in here. It's in the hierarchy. Text is like a separate part of the button, but you can change here, and we're just going to say like change scene. Alright, now we're going to try to get this button to work. Okay, we're over here the button script. You can change the color. I'm just going to change this to red so you guys can see it for a bit. And then here, there's like different colors you can choose. So this is a normal color, like when you don't click on the button, this is a color you see. And then there's highlighted color. So when you hover over the button, it will change color. And when you press it and select it, there are different colors. And when it's disabled, meaning that when you click it once, you can't click it again. It'll have another color. But we're just going to go with normal color for now. I want to get to the coding part. So what we're going to do is going to create a new C# script, and we're going to call it ButtonClick. So there we go. Let's click on it. All right. So the first thing you want to do is, because we're interacting with the UI over here, the first thing you want to do is add using Unity engine dot UI. Basically, this tells the script that right now we're dealing with the user interface, the UI. And so we don't really need a start and update function actually. Let's see. 1 second. Oh wait, my bad. For a button, we don't need this. Okay, wait. Okay, just a side note. Okay, right now we probably won't be using this because we're just doing a button to change scenes. We'll be using something else. But if you want to change, like, say, the text on the canvas, you will have to use unity.ui. So in this case, we say text. Let's say word equals. Actually, now we're just gonna, and we're gonna make it a public one. So yeah, you can only use this text and whatever UI element you're using if you have this Unity engine.ui activated. But for right now, let's not do that. But we're talking about button. So basically, you can make a button do whatever you want when you click on it. All you have to do is define a method. So in this case, I want to switch scenes, and that's going to require something else. So if you want to change scenes, we're going to have to use using Unity engine dot scene management. And basically what this does is this allows you to keep track of the different scenes you're using and then change between them. So right now we're going to use public void switch new scene. All right. And now what we're going to do is we're going to call we're going to use the SceneManager class. Oh, what? 1 sec. All right. So SceneManager is a class, and it has a method called load scene. And then in the parentheses, we can either put a number or the name of the scene we're switching to. I'll explain how to get the number in a second, but for right now, our new scene is called new. So we're just going to do SceneManager.load scene and then new, and there we go. Oh, just save that. So yeah, this simple method, we're just going to add this to our button, and then once the button is clicked, it's going to switch scenes. But to do that, we're first going to go to the button, and then we drag the script over here. Oh, whoopsies. Is it here? Yep, it's here. All right. Now, we're going to go back to this button component, as mentioned earlier. There's this box over here. It says OnClick. So basically what this does is that we add a function that we want the button to do. So we click the plus button, and it says here, runtime only, no function. Right now it doesn't have a function, but we want it to have something. So what we do is, I think we click here. Yeah. And so here we have our ButtonClick script. I think this is... I hope this shows up. 1 second. Alright, never mind. You don't click that. You drag the ButtonClick script from the one you added to the button. And now we should be able to change this. See, is it here? Yes, here. All right. So we go OnClick. We add this script over here to this area, and then now we click no function. We're going to go to ButtonClick because that's the name of the script that we just added. And here we have the switch new scene method that we have added earlier. So we're going to click that. Now then, before we click, wait, what? If we click play right now, if we click the button, nothing happens. Because it says here, over here on the bottom it says an error. Oh, it's not clear, but it says scene new cannot be loaded because it has not been added to the build settings. So we want to add it to the build settings, and that requires something else. So we go over here, file, build settings. Now over here it says scenes and build. That's where we want to add our scenes to. So right now we're going to add our current scene, which is a sample scene. And then we're going to, alright, we're going to open the other scene, the new scene, and we're going to add it. So now, in this build, we have both the scenes. We have the sample scene and the new scene. As you can see here, they've been checkmarked, which means we're going to add them to our new build. And over here, you see there's a 0 and a 1. So how this will work is that when you play your game, the game will load the scenes in order that you put it in. So if you put whatever you put in 0, it's going to be the first scene that shows up when you click play. And then to call it, to change scenes, you can either call the name of the scene, so like what we did earlier, we use new, but you can also use this number. So it says 0 here, and then you can use this number 1 to change scenes. But right now, we're just going to leave like that, and we're going to press build. So when you click build, it's going to ask you to put it in a folder. Let's see, where should we put it? And I'm just going to put it in here for now. UI build. Alright. Actually, wait. I should click a new folder. New folder. UI build. Alright. So we're going to click this. Select folder. Alright. I hope it's being built. Alright, there it is. Second. All right. So yeah, after you build it, it shows you how you can access it, but we're not gonna worry about that right now. Um, let's see. If we go back to our sample scene, yeah, okay, we're back here, and we click on canvas. Yeah, okay. So hopefully this works. If we press play, and if we click the button, there we go. See, all the UI elements disappeared. And if we go back, okay, we should be in the new scene, the scene that we called new earlier. Ah, no. Alright, yeah, never mind. So yeah, using this simple method, we can easily change between different scenes. And the thing is that you can use the button to do whatever you want. See, how much time do we have left? We have some time. Actually, let's go over how we can change the text here. So we're going to call, should we call our update method? Yeah, we're just going to use our update method. All right. Okay. So to access the text, all we do is call the text variable, I guess, is to call word, and we're going to do .txt. So basically, this accesses the text in the word, I guess, and we're going to change that to hi, I guess. All right, and we're going to save that. Okay, and if we go back to the Unity, right now it says hello. Actually, can I open the inspector? Canvas, text. Okay, so right now it says hello, but when we play, it's going to update it. Oh, never mind. Oh, great. Oh, wait, it's not saved. Okay. Alright, back here. Hopefully this works. Oh, something went wrong. Well, this is odd. Oh, wait, I know why. Okay, we have to drag the text. So right now we have the text over here, and over here in the inspector area, we have the script, and it's asking for a text component. So we add it here. Now, hopefully, 3 times the charm. Yeah. Now it changes to hi. And so now it will update it. It will update it every frame per second, and then whatever text you change it to, it will change it to that. Alright, so I think we're good on time. So yeah, that's the basics of Unity UI, or user face. You can do a lot of things with it, but it's pretty important in a game. You can't just have a game with like just game mechanics and then not tell a user what to do. So with the UI, you can easily like write instructions or like make a start menu, do whatever. But make sure you have a UI. It's really helpful for the player to see what's going on in the game before they can actually play it. So yeah, thank you.